Well, I'm awake much later than yesterday. I think I got up around 7:20 this morning and cracking the coffee and gonna start my kanji studies. Just getting breakfast ready. It's 100 grams of dry oats, a raw egg. Believe it or not, in Japan, they eat raw eggs because they sterilize the shells, so there's no risk of bacterial infection or anything like that, like salmonella. And so it's just oats, a raw egg, and then I put some of this, it's called mensu. It's got like a very smoky, I don't know, it's made with fish, but it has a smoky flavor. I guess you can call it like a smoky flavored soy sauce. And then I put some nori sprinkled on top, and it's pretty darn good. I'll show you when it's done. All right, I know it doesn't look the nicest, but it tastes amazing. All right, for the remainder of these oats, which is usually a little bit less than half, but today it looks like almost half. I'm gonna mix in protein powder, and that's breakfast. Actually, I'm lying. I had a banana earlier. So banana, coffee, 100 grams of oats, one egg, some nori, and I usually just put 1 scoop of protein powder. If you're wondering, I have a blanket on my shoulders because it's cold in my apartment and I don't want to turn on the heat right now. So there's 1 scoop of this. Anyway, it's banana flavored protein. It's pretty good. It was on sale. Made by Niji or something like that. Niji protein. Niji means rainbow. Okay. And then it's just a simple mixeroo. Obviously, this is a very sweet flavored protein. So I started off my breakfast with a kind of a savory or salty flavored oats. And then I finished with something that's more like a dessert. And there we go. That's the rest of my breakfast. All right. So, woke up this morning and feeling a bit achy in the right shoulder. So, today is definitely going to be an off day. I'm not sure what I'm going to do as active rest. Maybe a bit of stretching. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my trigger point ball and try to release some of the tension. So we'll do that today. I don't start work until later. Mondays are always a bit of a slow start. It's a late finish though, so yeah, so no major workout today, maybe a bit of stretching, trigger point. I usually just, throughout the day I do a bit of gripper stuff just to keep my wrists from feeling painful, and then maybe wrist stretching, but again, wrists are feeling a little sore. Not sure if I should push them or let them rest. Tomorrow's going to be a pull day. So anyways, we'll see how today goes. I'm going to finish this up. So let's dig in.
this is a great way to, excuse me, this is a great way to get your protein in. The only thing is I don't think the artificial sweeteners agree with me very well. I usually get a little bit of indigestion from protein, and I don't think it's the protein itself. I think it's the there's artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners in here. That's why it's so good. So the next time I buy some protein, I might actually just buy the plain stuff with no flavor added. I used to buy that stuff, and then I found some stuff that was on sale. It was flavored, and it's been hard for me to go back to the plain. Way easier to get down, but I feel like the artificial sweeteners don't agree with me. So we're gonna have to try some plain, or maybe I might even just give up on the protein powders and, you know, do a bit more eggs or do something else for my protein in the morning. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below, I guess. It's good. It's like a dessert. It's like a pudding. In Japan, it's hard to find peanut butter, or at least the all-natural peanut butter. They sell the Skippy's type stuff with, like, you know, icing sugar and hydrogenated oils in it, and I avoid that stuff like the plague, so I'm not going to be adding any of that type of peanut butter. But if I find natural peanut butter, man, it's expensive in Japan. Back home, I could get a tub for, man, I don't even remember now. Maybe it's $5 these days. In Japan, it's at least double that. It's like $10 for, you know, a tub of all natural peanut butter. So I don't do a lot of peanut butter. So after breakfast is done, I usually go straight to the kitchen, do a bit of dishes, and get my lunch and dinner ready for the day. Lunch and dinner are almost always exactly the same meal. I just make one big pot of food. Today, maybe I'll walk you through that. So why don't we go back to the kitchen and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so yesterday I cooked everything in the Instant Pot. Today I'm going to cook everything in my rice cooker. I'm not doing a hard workout today, so I think I'm just going to do 1 cup of rice. Yesterday I made 2 cups of barley, and to be honest, it was a lot of food. I think I mentioned it expands by like 6 times. So I mean, it was a lot of food. So we'll do 1 cup of rice. We'll wash this, and then it's going to be chicken breast and veggies, and that's pretty much it. My lunchtime today, I'm going to eat at home, but at work, unfortunately, I only have, I think, 20 minutes to eat. So having less food makes it go down quicker. If I were to make a huge pot of food, I might not even be able to finish all my dinner during my break at work. I usually wash this rice. In the past, I was kind of lazy, and you know, it comes in a plastic bag, so I doubt there's any bugs or anything in it. So I used to not always wash it. I mean, it's probably pre-washed anyway. I'm not that picky. Now when I add the water in, I like my rice a little bit on the sticky side, so I usually put a bit more water. But since I'm putting in veggies and chicken breast and other things that release water, I'm gonna remove some of the water. That ought to do it. So after that, I usually put in kombu. And this is supposed to be used for making soup stock. So it's quote unquote the flavorful seaweed. I usually just cut it like that, put it in with my rice. So I do one of those. And this is wakame, usually used in miso soup. Put a bit of that in. All these dried foods are awesome because they expand. So like 1 gram turns into, you know, a good amount of food. For flavoring, very simple. I just do salt. I don't know how much that is. I'll probably do more. Like a couple grams of salt. And I even do a bit of soy sauce. Today I'm not doing a ton of food. Chicken breasts we'll do next. In Japan they're pretty cheap. So now we're going to pull off the skin and get these ready. So I like to remove as much of the fat as I can. So I'll take my scissors out again and trim anything I don't want on there. Like, I don't know, some of that I'll take off, I guess. I don't know, that looks pretty good. And then I just add that into the rice. I don't care if the chunks are kind of big, actually, because when chicken breast cooks, at least in the rice cooker or the pressure cooker, it shrinks quite a bit. So any of these pieces that look kind of big, I'll take that, are going to be a lot smaller. But even though it shrinks, it doesn't turn out that tough, I find. This is a pressure cooking rice cooker. Not all of them are pressure cooking, so this one, I don't know, I guess it makes things softer. So I find the chicken turns out just fine. But then again, I'm not that picky. You know, I do like pretty much the same flavored food every day. Salt, soy sauce. And then it's just cooked with either barley or rice. Pretty simple meals. Today is 3 chicken breasts, but sometimes I just do 1 per meal, so I would do 2 per day. But I mean, it's kind of a pain. You know, I'd have to put this in a Tupperware. Anyway, I'll just cook it and eat it. I'm not exactly bulking, but you know, more lean protein I figure is good. I actually wouldn't mind cutting a little bit of fat, to be honest. But that's why today on my off day, we're doing less carbs. So that'll be my cut. You know, 1 cup of rice is probably like 600 calories. So that's enough of a reduction that I can keep my protein high. So we finished the bulk of the food prep. Now it's just veggies. I basically treat veggies like medicine. So, you know, I don't go overboard with them. but I also don't just eat rice and chicken. I see no reason why I should cut out good veggies. Oh, sorry. Always try to wash my hands after touching raw chicken. I'll wash this towel after I'm done with my meal prep too. So, okay. Yeah, so I treat veggies kind of like medicine. I mean, I add in some... Oh, I forgot. I have a very small amount of the barley from yesterday that I just couldn't eat it all. I left a little bit. I'll add that in. Okay, so now we're gonna add in, maybe I'll add in some mushrooms. I mean, these are so low calorie. I could probably add in the whole pack and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So with these, they usually come packed with some kind of a weird root on the bottom, which is hard and not very edible. So I'm going to cut that off. Just a bit. That would be enough. And then I'll add in these mushrooms. And that's probably a good amount for my two meals. So we got that in. Next, maybe I'll do a carrot or something. Carrot, and in Japan they have very small eggplants. So let's do one of these eggplants. Sorry about all the noise. So again, I'm not adding these for flavor or anything, just nutrition, vitamins. I have no idea what's in them. And when these cook in the pressure cooker, they kind of turn into very soft mush. So I don't need to cut them that small. That ought to do it. We'll add in the eggplant. We'll add in a carrot. Sorry about the noise. Give that a wash. I usually cut the ends off a little, even if you don't need to. And I'm not that picky about the shape. I actually like different shapes. So sometimes, like the Japanese like to cut it like this, and then they rotate it, and then cut it like that, and then they rotate it. And so you get these kind of, I don't know, weird looking shapes like that that are common in Japan. But I'll just do like that. Okay, so what do I got in here? I could even add in a little bit of ginger, I guess, since there's not a lot of flavor. So let's do that. Let's add in, and in Japan, ginger is often, I guess, fresh, or at least the skin is not gray and dried. So that's what Japanese ginger looks like. I mean, sometimes it's dried, but I mean, you can often find it like this. So I'll cut off a slice of that, and then I just inspect the outside edge if there's any kind of bits I don't want to eat. And it looks pretty good. And this is actually fairly mild ginger. Like, I could probably eat it straight like that. Where I'm from Canada. If you were to eat a chunk of ginger, it would be pretty strong. Japanese ginger is a lot more mild, so I can put in, that amount and not a problem at all. So I think that's good for, that's going to be lunch and dinner. So we got our flavorings, veggies, meat, and carbs. We'll put it in the rice cooker. And I put it on kind of a slower mode. So it takes about an hour to cook. But I'll set the timer here. There you go. That's what it looks like. So we'll do for starting. It'll be done and ready at noon. And there we have it. That's all my cooking for the entire day. So breakfast is done, breakfast is in, and that's all my lunch and dinner. The only thing else I might add in are some snacks. So that's why I have all my bananas, I have nuts, I sometimes do yogurt, I sometimes do protein shakes, but all my major meals are done for the whole day. So that's pretty easy for me. The only thing is sometimes you might get tired of eating the exact same meal all the time. But for me, I don't really care. So my lunch and my dinner are always exactly the same meal. It's also why I have some spices here. So, if I get bored, with my dinner, I could just shoot some spicy curry powder or whatever on top. So even though everything in it is exactly the same as lunch, but the flavor is a little different. So that's it. I'm gonna go clean up my kitchen, and we'll check you a bit later. Another gorgeous cloudless day in Tokyo. That's my bike. Alrighty, it is time for some trigger point therapy. Obviously, we got some Buddhist mantra going on. Whatever, just some background relaxation stuff. And right shoulder is ironically not the one that I had surgery on. Maybe I'll stop this. So my left one is the one I had surgery on. But lately my right one's feeling very sore. And not like muscle good sore. Achy sore. So after this trigger point, I might do some of my warm-up exercises, which are more like, kind of like rehab exercises. So internal, external rotation. I'm probably going to do some bar hangings, actually. So just hanging for time on the chin-up bar. Tomorrow is a pull day, so I don't want to exhaust my grip too much. But daily hanging is supposedly good for the shoulders, so we're probably going to do some hanging. I'm probably going to even do one-arm hangs. Nothing crazy. I'm not going for time or anything like that. Some of my personal best for two-arm hangs was like, I don't know, over 2 minutes on a bar that doesn't rotate though. So that was a little bit easier. One-arm hang, I don't even remember. I think I could bar hang with one arm for about a minute actually. But my body, I was a lot lighter. I was cutting, and yeah, now I'm, I don't know, a little bit heavier. So obviously hanging from a bar is harder. All right, so let's flip it around. So I'm basically getting rear delt here, and I'm also going into where the tricep, the long head of the tricep, attaches in at the shoulder. At least that's what I think I'm hitting. It certainly feels like tricep when I get into like deep rear delt. So I'll roll a bit like this, and then if I find areas that hurt, I'll stop and just put pressure on them. I'll also flip it around and do a bit of pec. I'm going to continue doing that, and we will see you later. So today's my off day, as I mentioned, but we're gonna do very easy and I guess light warm up routine, same as yesterday. So arm circles. Right shoulder is still feeling glitchy. Oh, oh. So probably need to take it slow. Oh, that actually feels fine. Left side, because of the surgery, maybe you can see the left side feels a little bit tighter. Oh. Oh. Sorry for the noise. That's the rice cooker going there. Oh. Oh. Man, too much weights, not enough stretching, not enough yoga, I guess. Like I said before, I'm a certified yoga instructor. You can probably see like these kind of moves. It's like my yoga side coming out of me. But yeah, that was in 2018 or something like that I got my yoga certification. And never taught an actual group class. Oh. But maybe if I get my flexibility on point, I could do a bit of yoga teaching. Maybe I will one day. For now, let's focus on this calisthenics journey. Oh, man. Just those arm circles. I feel like my shoulders are getting a bit of a pump here. Whew. Exhausting, actually. Maybe my shoulders are kind of too weak. Oh, man. So, I feel actually in the upper trap, like these circles are activating muscles that have not been activated in a while. Whew. I don't know, I feel like this is good though. Oh. I don't need any weights either, which is crazy. Like, just doing this, I feel like my shoulders are getting, I guess we could take a look. Oh. See what they look like. Man, I mean, obviously I have some weight training experience, but I don't know. Those circles. Oh. Believe it or not, without the t-shirt, it's a little bit easier. Less constricted. Oh. 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 Where do I feel that? That's like right inside delts, man. Oh. Man. hear those? Those are loud pops in the shoulder. Okay. Pretty soon here, I'm gonna move to my next exercise. Not quite yet though. I'm liking this. Oh, 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 man. I can't, I don't have a mirror around me, but I'll check the video later, but man, oh man. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna attach a handle to my band, I think. Feels a little bit better if I'm doing lots of reps. Holding a rubber band sometimes irritates the skin a little bit. So we'll just take this band, put a handle on it, and I'm gonna throw my t-shirt back on. It's a little cool in my apartment. And I want to keep the muscles warm. So keep that on. Maybe I'll start with external today. Yeah. Look at that. Well. I used to do these differently. I used to have my elbow touching my side and just moved like this. And because I thought that was the correct way of doing them. I don't like that way of doing them. Now what I do is I leave a gap here, and you can see like I'm almost straightening my arm out. Not quite, but the pivot or the axis of rotation is out there. And I feel like it hits the shoulder better and doesn't give me any shoulder issues either. When I pin my shoulder into the side like this and I just do these, I don't know. I feel like it's not working. Both like my rotator cuff as well as the delt. So I guess with this I'm getting a little bit more delt action, which physiotherapists may not want. For rehab, they just want to target the rotator cuff without any deltoid. But for me, yes, I am doing this for kind of rehab, but I also see it as kind of a shoulder exercise too. So try it out if you have shoulder issues. You know, whichever one you like better, do that one. But for me, just through experimentation, I found that this one, well, most importantly, feels better. And sometimes I even will straighten my arm right out. I mean, think about it. Like if you were working on a farm or doing some sort of manual labor job, which movement is more of a natural movement? One where your elbow is pinned to your waist, or this one where you're kind of like pulling something out like this? Like, I don't know what you would be doing, pulling a rope or I don't know, something. To me, this one seems like a more natural human movement. And it feels better. So So I'm doing it. Like I said, I will do some reps with the arms straightened out. This is how I do it. From a 1 to 10, this is like a 3 or a 4 in difficulty. Maybe even less, maybe like a 2 or 3. But after the shoulder circles, I'm already feeling, in a good way, shoulder activation. Okay, we'll do another set of this. Maybe we'll make it a little harder. Step forward, backwards. Up the ante a little bit here. Obviously, I am trying to be conscious of my posture. So, chest up, neck straight, abs a little bit pulled in. You probably can't hear it, but I do get a bit of popping in my shoulder. So again, this is an off day, so I'm not looking to go totally insane. But I just can't take a day off doing absolutely nothing. I have to do some sort of active rest, whether that's stretching or rehab or just light conditioning. I think we're okay here. I don't know. That feels good to me. I'm gonna stop the video for now. We'll come back in a bit. Alright, we're gonna do some of these bandage shoulder passes. I'm doing this warm up a little bit out of sequence today. So I'm gonna do all the shoulder stuff first, and then if I feel the need to do wrist stuff, or if I have time, because I gotta go to work in a bit, we might skip it, but for now we're gonna do all shoulder stuff first. Hopefully I won't hit the wall there. Okay. Oh, man. Both shoulders not feeling good. And they feel painful at different points. Like the right one is on the way up, the left one is there. So they both hurt, and they're both tight, I guess. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Oh. Ooh. I can really smell that ginger. Ooh. Oh man. We're only on day 2 of this calisthenics venture. hoping these shoulders get stronger. I mean, I've always had shoulder issues, but the right one has been bothering me lately. And after having surgery once on the left, I know that I definitely don't want to do any more surgeries on the right. And since I have basically good movement, I don't think I need any surgery on the right. Wow. Okay. We'll give it a little bit of a rest. Maybe I'll do some of these. Oh. I wonder if my trap is tight. Probably is. Let's stretch that out a little bit. Ugh. That's the thing with exercise and working out. You can watch a ton of videos, like you could be watching this video, hopefully picking up some tips and tricks, but ultimately you just have to get better at understanding what your own body needs. And sometimes that means, playing around and doing different things. Sure, it means trying what other people have done in the past, but sometimes, you just gotta see, is it tight? Do I have to stretch it? Do I need to exercise it? What do I need to do? What's best for this pain? So, ooh, that feels good. That's usually a good sign, right? You do something and then you're like, wow, that feels good. That feels good too. So, if I do some neck stretches and then I do my band and it feels better, then that'll be something I continue to do. I mean, I'm already feeling a bit lighter, I guess you could say. All right. Let's see how this feels. Ugh. Yeah. Things feel a little better. Now, that could be because I've already warmed up with one set, or it could be because I did some of the stretches. I don't know. But seems to be a little better on this set. But that is not very good flexibility. I mean, it might be good compared to some people who can't even get their arms behind their back. But when we want to be athletes, when we want to be impressive, superhero type activities, we got to push ourselves beyond what is normal or what average people can do. So that is not good flexibility in my opinion. I used to do skin the cats up there on the chin-up bar, right? So do a flip through your arms and flip back. Unfortunately, I am not ready to do any of that stuff right now. Let's get strong on the band first before I start adding my entire body weight to these rotator cuff muscles. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. So in general, I think going slow is safer and provides more time under tension, and anyway, a lot of benefits for moving slowly. But I also think midway through, speeding it up a little bit. So, changing directions more quickly is not easy to do. Oh, okay. I think that's it. Was a little bit better. Let's go back to some neck stretches. From the side, looks like this. So chin to my chest. Obviously, twisting your neck while you're pulling on it is probably not advised. So don't necessarily do what I do. I've got some experience doing neck training, not a lot, but I've got a neck harness, and sometimes I attach a band to it, and I do neck training. So if you're a martial artist, maybe you could handle it, but if you don't have experience, pulling on your neck and turning it, I don't advise you to do that. Or if you do it very carefully. That's the thing with contraindicated exercises, right? Things that are not recommended by professionals. I think all of them could be done, but it's just that most people don't know how to do them properly, and they end up hurting themselves. So doctors just tell people, don't do them. When in fact, we could do them. It's just we're not adept at understanding what amount of pressure and what amount of tension to apply. That takes sort of being in tune with your body. So, and that takes some experience, that takes some practice. At my age, I've done a lot of different things. I've done a lot of different exercises. Like I said, I have gym experience. I've had surgeries. I have experience with yoga. I have done some body weight training in the past. Not a lot. So, which is why I'm calling this my calisthenics journey. For a short period of time when I was a personal trainer, I did some calisthenics type training in with my weight training. Didn't really make a ton of progress, but calisthenics takes a long time and a lot of patience. So, and then mixing in heavy weight training with your calisthenics, you're sort of burning the candle at both ends, or like you're trying to do two things that, yes, there's crossover, but they're kind of different. So, heavy, trying to increase your bench, trying to increase your weights. Yeah, I guess that's an awesome goal to have, but it may not help you with your calisthenics goals. Definitely will help you with your physique goals. For me right now, I want to do both. I want to maintain, or at least keep an aesthetic looking body while adding in some skills. Okay, should I do another band pass? Yeah, let's do another band pass. Hopefully with each time I do this, it gets easier. I'm still grabbing around the same area. I could go in a little bit and make it more difficult, but since things are a little bit glitchy, I'm not gonna do that yet. Okay. This set is feeling not too bad so far. When I come back here, a little bit I'm trying to squeeze my rhomboids together. Like I'm not just flinging my arms back. I'm actively trying to squeeze my back muscles. So there is an element of, what can I say, like exercise to this movement. It's like it's not just a stretch, but I'm doing muscle activation in my back while I'm back here. Because doing that actually helps pull my shoulders back. So squeezing the rhomboids like this brings my arms a bit closer together. So it's all part of it. And so this third set is feeling not as bad as the first two. So I don't know, should I do more sets of this? Maybe. You know, that's the thing, like we want to train the body to be comfortable in uncomfortable movements. And I think repetition, controlled repetition, is a great way to do that. Like I'm not going to bang out 100 reps just for the sake of it. But if any of you guys out there are doing calisthenics, then you already know stuff like that. You know, quality is way more important than just hitting some random rep number. Oh, man, shoulders are getting a bit tired here. Oh, so I'm not actually increasing the speed very much on this set. Oh. So, a little bit of pain in the right side, but a lot of muscle soreness, like muscle soreness as in like fatigue from this movement. Okay, I don't know, maybe 3 sets is good enough. We'll stop things there. We'll be back in a second. All right, next we're going to do some bar hangs. I have a clock here with some seconds on it. I'm not really going for any sort of max time or anything like that. This is more just to, I don't know, activate my shoulders. So it's not going to be a passive hang. I think I'm going to do an active hang. So instead of dropping the shoulders like this with them up to my ears, I'm going to be pulling them away from my ears. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult of a hold, but we'll see if I can get a minute doing this. I threw my sweater on because it's still kind of cold in here. And, okay. I said active, but I went into passive right away. So this bar has like some foam on it, which, I don't know. In some ways I like it, in some ways I don't. For this exercise, or this, bar hang, sometimes the foam, because it's not glued to the bar, sometimes it sort of, it spins or it slips. So I gotta make sure my grip is on point here. Left side feels a bit painfully, I mean, it doesn't really hurt, but I feel something pulling. I think that was a minute. Oh, so I think what I'll do is, since that felt okay, I might do some one arm hangs. Now I don't know if I want to do active one arm, so pulling, or just a full passive hang. I'm gonna see how the active one feels, and if I feel weak and it hurts to pull, because I'm guessing that's gonna be like, serratus or something like that. That's gonna pull my scapula down, and if that hurts me, then I'm probably just gonna do one arm passive hangs. Oh. Nice day today, though. Very, very nice sunny day. Japan has a lot of nice sunny days in the winter. Well, I guess it's the spring now. But yeah, lots of sunny days, which is nice. I'm from Ottawa, Canada. I've lived in Vancouver. I've lived in other places like Montreal and Victoria in Canada as well. And a lot of cloudy, gloomy days in the winter. So to have sunny days like this almost every day is just awesome. It's still cold outside, but sunny days are super nice. Okay. I don't know which side I want to start with. I guess I'll start with left and see how this feels. Okay. Got my clock ready. While I was doing that, I just had the thought, tomorrow is a pull day, so don't go too crazy. That felt okay. I don't know, probably only did like 10 seconds or something, maybe even 5 seconds, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention closely enough. Okay, let's see how right feels. Right feels pretty good. I think we'll do some more sets like that. I don't want to completely burn out whatever muscles that's working, because tomorrow I want to do pull, probably weighted pull-ups. I don't think I'm going to do lever work. I want to start this calisthenics journey a little bit on the slow and cautious side, so I think I'm just going to work on basics, pull-ups, dips, and that type of thing until my shoulders feel awesome. And then maybe I'll start incorporating some skill work. But at least for the first maybe month or so, I'm going to... Anyways, this is what I'm saying now. We'll see how it goes. That's sort of my train of thought, though, is like work on the basics for a little while before I start working on skill work. Okay. I think I actually might, because my body keeps hitting the wall. I want to hold it in the middle, but it's kind of weird. Let's see if I hold it there. Okay, and then I want to keep it active. Yep. Ooh. Ooh. Ouchie. That's a bit of an ouchie. Oh. Okay. We'll do the same thing on this side. Yeah, right is definitely better. Couldn't see my clock though. Oh. That's good. do one more set of those, and then I think I'll move into some wrist stuff. So wrist circles, maybe a bit of gripper stuff just to get the muscles warmed up in the forearm, and then stretching movements. Yeah, all right. I don't think I need long rest between rounds. Trying to figure out the best place to hold this bar. Here, and I hit the wall here, but I don't really want to hold it in the middle. Let's try here again. See how this works out for me. Not bad. Oh, not bad, not bad. Okay. One more on this side. Yeah, you can see I have more shoulder control here. At least I think so. Less rotation. Okay. All right, wrist time. I know it's right before lunch, and I'm in the middle of my workout, but I felt like I should have a banana. Good. Good old roasted almonds. Have some of these with it. When it comes to meats, I try to keep the fat low. I get my fats from nuts, eggs, and that's probably it. There's a little bit of fat in the meat. Oats that I eat. Oats are sort of a higher fat grain. If you saw in my kitchen, I don't have any oils. I usually keep fats fairly low in my diet. So that's why, like, things like nuts, I eat fairly liberally. They don't put the nutritional information on here? Yeah, they do. Wow. I don't know if that's right. These are over 50% fat. So 100 grams has 54 grams of fat. I didn't think almonds were that high. And they're 20% protein. So if you eat 10 grams, that's 5 grams of fat. Sorry, that's 5.4 grams of fat. So even though I don't use oils in my kitchen, I think I get enough fat from the nuts, from the egg yolks. That was a good mid-workout snack. Skim milk. Just a bit. I usually use it for my coffee, but this is good stuff too. I don't know what it is with the milk in Japan, but for me it tastes a little bit, I don't know, creamier. Even the skim milk, it doesn't taste as, wow, what's the word? Watery. There's like a creamy smoothness to the milk in Japan, which I love. I think Japanese consumers are some of the pickiest consumers in the world. They like stuff that tastes good, that looks good. They expect high quality. So for me, living in Japan, I've come across some food items that I would eat back home that when I eat them here, I'm like, wow, they're so much better in Japan. Anyway, that's probably the reason. Japanese people are discerning consumers, let's put it that way. All right, we're going to go on to some wrist work. We're going to eat lunch in about 20 minutes. So anyway, let's get this started. Maybe I'll just move the camera like this. All right. Wow, sun in the eyes. Okay. So let's do some wrist work. So even doing this, I feel, I don't know, pinching or tendon tension. I don't know, something. But then again, like these are my weakest link. And if I want to do calisthenics, having strong wrists is super important. I may never have strong wrists, which is why I'm setting my goals to something that's attainable. So front lever, I think is attainable for me. I think, holding a bar like this or even false grip is not going to be an issue for the wrists or the shoulders. Planche is, I'm kind of worried about the planche. I don't know how far I can progress. If I can get even like an advanced tuck planche, I would be pretty happy with that. So, and then that would be on parallettes. Ideally I would like to do it flat with flat hands on the floor. But at this rate, with the way my wrists are after surgeries, I may never be able to do something like that. But that's what this journey's for, to see how much progress I can make. But yeah, look, I'll show you what we're dealing with here. Like that is painful for me. This side too. Like, I bet you there's a lot of calisthenics athletes that can bring their fingers almost to their forearm, like pushing it way back. For me, like this is hard. Like I'm like with this amount of pain, I'm probably like a 7 or 8 pain level. I could take it more, but it's not just pain, it's like it's blocked. So it's a combination of pain and just pure tightness. But anyway, these are probably stretches I should be doing. Stretching the other way also painful. Like that to me, wow, that's also not fun. Oh, right side's a little bit better, but those are painful stretches for me. Oh, rice cooker's activating. Let me get my gripper. So this is more just about warming things up a little bit. Trying to get some blood flow in this area. So we'll do some of these. Like you can see how thin my wrists are. Like a lot of the really strong calisthenics guys have like these wide, thick wrists. Almost like, I don't know, as big as the meaty part of their forearm. I, on the other hand, have, whatever, genetics and that type of thing have led to me having weak wrists that broke. And anyway, what's done is done. Can only see how much progress I can make. So this goes up to 60 kilograms. So I've got it in the middle. So we're probably doing like, 30. I mean, very easy. But that's just to get some blood flow in there. We'll go back to this. Let's try like that. Just a little different. Oh, man. Not a lot of snap, crackling, popping, but excuse me. Ooh, my thumb, like, I don't know, like in that area, painful too. Oh. Okay, let's do some of these stretches again. Pain feels a little better. It's just like it's blocked. It's like all in here just feels like it's solid. But I believe that progress can be made. Now, how much progress, I don't know. That's what we're going to find out. If you have any tips, I would love to hear them. I've seen a lot of those wrist strengthening exercise videos with the, hands on the floor and pressing up using only the knuckles and fingertips, and I've seen those, but a lot of those bother me. Doing them up like this, where I can control it with my other hand, to me feels a lot better than using the floor. Like the floor, I'm using my body weight on them, and I don't know. Don't really like those exercises. Not at this stage. Maybe I'll work up to those again. For now, this feels good. Maybe I should do some of these too, like stretching back in different angles. So it's a mixture of, like if you look, like it's white. If you can see that, it's like white with tension. Left side's worse. Although it doesn't even look as white to me. Bit of thumb stretching. To be honest, some of these stretches actually feel pretty good. It's kind of like that feels good but hurts kind of pain. I could probably spend a couple hours just working on the wrists, and maybe I should. Wow. Left is bad. Ooh. Man. Alright, let's shake him out a little bit. Oh, there. Okay, let's do some more gripper. Give it a crank, make it, doesn't really change it that much. I think lunch is done. Lunch is done. In that case, yeah, it's still 10 minutes until 12, so I'm not going to eat just yet. Let's continue to work on the wrists a little bit more, right up until noon, and then we'll eat. Oh. Oh. Damn wrists. Got all kinds of almonds in my teeth. Okay. Let's go back to the stretch stuff. I can't tell if any progress has been made, but pain feels a little bit less. It's just like it's blocked. Like something is stopping it, preventing it from going further back. Let's go for this side. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt, but the feeling of pain is much better. Let's do this one again, like the elbow. I like this one. There's a little bit of like a rotation in there. Ooh. Ouch. I'll do this side too. So I feel a little bit here, but I also feel the pain like in the back of the hand, like in this area. So I'm wondering if I should like massage like in between like these finger or hand bones, metacarpals, yeah. Okay, let's go back like this. Ugh. This one just feels weak. It hurts, but it feels weak. Ugh. Ooh, fuck. Okay. Let's do a little more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm sure you can hear that. Oh, that's just like wrist tendon gnarly grinding. Let's stretch the thumb out. Get out of the sun. Oh. Ah. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, I think I'm going to end the workout, whatever you would call this, I guess is a workout, pretty soon. I want to eat something more substantial than a banana. Okay. I might do a little bit more after work before bed, but for now, shoulders, wrists, mission accomplished. So let's bring you over here to the rice cooker. Unplug it. Boom, there we go. I'm gonna mix that all up. So let's set this up like that. Okay. Whew. Ah, goddamn, that's hot. Whew. Ooh, that is hot. That is very hot. Okay. Ooh, oh dear. Not sure if you can see what that looks like. There we go. So that's 1 cup of rice, 3 chicken breasts, and some veggies. We're gonna dish it out for my lunch. And I'm also gonna put some in a Tupperware container for my dinner. So for lunch, we'll do right here. Is that about half? I think that's about good for lunch. There we go. All right, let's go eat. All right, lunchtime. It's probably hot. A little bit plain. But good. There's a very subtle ginger flavor. I could probably have used a little more salt. But the eggplant was a nice addition. I can't understand these athletes or bodybuilders that just eat chicken and rice. Like, all that extra veggie adds important vitamins and minerals with very little addition of calories. Like, I'm eating half a carrot right in this meal, so half a carrot, half an eggplant, roughly. I mean, we're probably talking like 100 calories for the additional veggies, but the benefits are far outweigh the negative impact of adding additional calories. Not to mention, these veggies actually taste pretty good. So if you're just a chicken and rice person, or steak and eggs or whatever, try adding in, even just 1 or 2 veggies. I sometimes have the frozen veggies, cut the bag open, dump a few in, cook it all up. Ooh. Still a bit hot. Now the rice, it's a little bit on the mushy side. I don't really care. What you don't want, though, is a little bit hard rice. like at least like this, it's, you know, it expands a little bit more. So you actually feel like you're eating more food by adding in more water. Makes it a little bit easier to digest. So some people may not like the texture. For me, this is actually pretty okay like this. I suppose I could try to reduce the water until I get like this super perfect amount, but this is actually not too bad for me. I don't really like it when it turns into like a porridge, like a soup. But this is still, like I can still see the grains of rice individually. So passes the test. So even though there's chunks of ginger in here, I barely even noticed them. Like the whole thing has a slightly ginger taste. But even there's a chunk right there, but like even if I were to bite into that, it wouldn't be like a shock of like, whoa, ginger. Yeah, totally fine. Hot. Sorry about that. The nose was starting to run. If I would have had this with no veggies, the rice would have seemed like a very small amount. That was half a cup. But since there was veggies mixed in and it's all, well, plus the additional water sort of expanded it, that actually felt like almost like a full cup. Which is why yesterday I made 2 cups of barley the whole pot was full. I couldn't even eat it all. But if I make 2 cups of rice, I could eat 2 cups of rice in one sitting easily. So these are tricks, to make yourself feel full. Eat healthily. Keep the weight off. So if you cook grains like barley or rice, add in a little bit more water. You get a little bit more volume. Excuse me. Add in your vegetables. Okay, I think it is coffee time. We're gonna make some coffee. We're gonna get lunch ready for work, and then we're gonna have to leave. So we'll stop there. We'll catch you later. All right, here's dinner, and we're gonna just add in a little bit of black pepper. I forget what these are. I think they're cumin seeds. We'll add a bit of that. Let's add in a little bit of chili pepper. So this is how I keep my meals interesting. Cooking is done once, but there we go. We got 2 sort of different meals with the same sort of food. There we go. All done. Now we're getting ready the coffee for work, which is this one right here. And we're going to do the post-lunch coffee, which I'm going to drink right now. And so if you've never seen these little drip coffee devices, they're sold in packs with the coffee already in them. You just tear them open, add the hot water, and you've got pretty good coffee actually. I don't mind this stuff. Cheap too. I forget how much one pack costs. Maybe like 30 cents per coffee or something like that. They're cheap. So I do this. When I add a splash of milk into it, I don't really notice a big difference between like luxury coffee and this cheaper coffee. If I drank it black, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be quite as good. But believe me, these are pretty good coffees. And ingenious, right? The cleanup is so simple. So there you go. Coffees for the day.